Prime Minister has spoken out on the Waqf Bill that has now cleared both houses of Parliament and only needs the President's signature to be read into law. The Prime Minister has called it a watershed moment. This, as the opposition led by the Congress party says, it will be challenging the legislation to be against the basic structure of the Constitution in the Supreme Court. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. For the last 48 hours, the country has witnessed a robust, long marathon debate on the floor of both houses of Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, where the numbers have spoken for themselves and the Modi government has successfully managed to clear the Waqf Amendment Bill in both houses of Parliament. Asaduddin Owaisi tore up the bill in a symbolic protest, but the other opposition parties are also protesting. Both the DMK and the Congress have spoken about challenging the bill in the Supreme Court. It was a passionate, fiery debate in the last 48 hours. Several opposition members of parliament got up and spoke about the bill being another attempt to humiliate Muslims. This is them speaking and treating them, as Owaisi said, as second-class citizens. The BJP and those supporting the legislation argued exactly the opposite. They said the Waqf boards had been riddled and saddled with corruption and that the revenue that accrued to them had never been used to help the poorest members of the Muslim community. Prime Minister Modi, backing the legislation and the changes to the legislation today, said that the bill was to safeguard the rights of the poorest member of the Indian Muslim community. A lot to talk about, including the Modi government's larger message to Muslims. Some would say it's been ridden with contradictions. The Waqf Bill, the Uniform Civil Code talk on the one hand, the Waqf Bill now more than talk, the Saugate Modi Eid kits on the other, a huge debate around namaz on the streets in the midst, and a feisty debate over the BJP's own political representation to Muslims. Let me introduce our guest today as we look at Prime Minister Modi's big statement on the Waqf Bill. Tehseen Poonawala is with us. Tehseen, of course, is a political analyst and also a supporter of the Congress party, sometimes with caveats. We'll see what he says about the party's position on the Waqf Bill. Also joining us is Tavleen Singh, who's, of course, one of the country's best-known authors and columnists. Good to see you, as always, Tavleen. Kushal Mehra is with us. Kushal's never hidden the fact that he's a BJP voter, but that doesn't mean he's always on the side of the government. We'll find out where his opinion lands this time in a moment from now. Zakia Soman is with us. Zakia led a fight for the rights of Muslim women and has often spoken out for the need of reform, but she has also written a column about taking the community into confidence before reform is introduced. Did that happen this time? We'll find out her perspective in a moment from now. And Ashwini Shahi, of course, Ashwini Shahi, let's introduce him, senior leader of the BJP, is with us as well. And I want to welcome him to the program as we now open up our discussion. I want to actually start by playing out just a clip of Asaduddin Owaisi that might help us set the framework of this conversation. Mr. Owaisi invoked Mahatma Gandhi as he tore up a copy of the bill and said it was all about treating Indian Muslims as second-class citizens. Take a look.
प्रॉपर्टी फेडरल के खिलाफ है, इतना रूल बना रहे। और आखिर में सर, मैं आपको बताना चाह रहा हूं स्पीकर साहब, ये बिल का मकसद सिर्फ मुसलमानों को जलील और रुस्वा करना है, मुसलमानों को दूसरे दर्जे का शहरी बनाने का इनका मकसद है। सर, अगर आप हिस्ट्री को पढ़ेंगे तो महात्मा गांधी उस वक्त के व्हाइट अफ्रीका में सफेद फार्म अफ्रीका के कानून को महात्मा गांधी ने कहा था कि ये मेरा कॉन्शियंस इसको मानता नहीं है, मैं इस कानून को कबूल नहीं करता हूं। तो महात्मा गांधी ने क्या किया, उन्होंने उस कानून को फाड़ दिया। तो मैं गांधी की तरह इस कानून को फाड़ता हूं। ये अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है सर। इस देश में झगड़े पैदा करने का काम बीजेपी करना चाहती है मस्जिद और मंदिर के नाम पर, इसीलिए मैं इसका कंडेम करता हूं और मैं आपसे गुजारिश करता हूं कि मैंने अपने 10 अमेंडमेंट दी हैं, आप इसको कबूल करिए सर, मुझे बोलने का मौका दीजिए और उस पर डिवीजन का मैं डिमांड भी करूंगा। थैंक यू।
Well, of course, since then, the bill has also cleared Rajya Sabha. Tehseen, I'll start with you. I know that Mr. Owaisi is not the only voice who speaks for India's Muslims, but speaking today, not just as a Congress supporter and a political analyst, but also as a Muslim. When you look at this legislation, what do you say?
Barkha, good evening. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Good evening to all my fellow panelists. There are two aspects to the bill, the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024, which I went through and I read. in detail. There are some provisions that are welcome, like compulsorily having women on board, a separate waqf for the Aga Khani community, the Bora community, the Pasmandas, etc., which is very, very welcome. Some of the aspects to bring in transparency is also completely welcome, and it should have happened. But the politics behind it and some of the amendments are problematic. Let me begin with the constitutional amendments. We'll come to the politics of it later. This bill infringes, in my opinion, on Article 26. I'm not talking about Article 25. It does infringe on Article 25, but Article 26, the right of a minority to charity. For example, if a Hindu fellow citizen or a Sikh fellow citizen or a Jain fellow citizen decides not to give their property to their children, but completely give it to any act of charity, the government or the state can't intervene to make sure the family is okay. This is intervening by saying, no, you first have to take care of your family, only then can you do waqf. I think that's deeply problematic. That infringes on Article 26, through that Article 25, Article 14. Now, I don't want to be misconstrued that shouldn't the family be taken care of. I think it should, but then that should apply for all religions, because ultimately the BJP pushes the UCC. So why not here for everybody? Why only should it be for a particular set of families? Are Hindu families not important, or Sikh families? Now let's come to the second part of this aspect, which is again a constitutional debate. I think that this bill infringes on Schedule 7 of the Constitution, which is the right of states. Land is a state subject. Now, when everything is centralized and a central CAG will look at it, I don't get it. The transparency could have been the state CAGs. Why were you infringed upon that? And the opposition didn't take these points up. Then I also think through Schedule 7 infringes on Article 300, the right to property, which is not a fundamental right, but a legal right. Again, what one person chooses to do with his or her property is their business. When you say only a Muslim can donate or do waqf, I find that problematic. Anyone can do waqf. I mean, anyone can donate to anything. Today, me being an atheist, born to a Muslim mother, if I want to give all my property to a Hindu family, will the state intervene and say, no, you cannot do it? And then that is a deeply problematic clause. You have to be a 5-year practicing Muslim. What is a 5-year practicing Muslim? Why the number 5? Why not 4? Why not 6? How do you prove 5-year? Somebody like me who's a self-declared atheist but born to a Muslim family. Am I practicing? Am I not? What is the definition of practicing? So again, these are going to lead to contentions. I think some of these are very badly drafted, including the statute of limitations. Now, if I can just end with one example, I'll come to the other more contentious issues later on. But the limitation issue, especially the BJP friends are completely supporting it, and other people from the legal fraternity who generally support the BJP seem to support it. I don't think they've understood how problematic it is and how corruption ridden it is. Let's see, the waqf land was given for a particular cause of charity. But somebody who's corrupt, instead of doing that act of charity, built a house out there. Now, with the statute of limitations, when the waqf goes to claim that land, because it's not being done for the charitable purpose it's supposed to be done, the person will say, well, the limitation is clicked in. I'm sorry, you cannot do anything. So actually, the corruption has been legitimized, the same corruption that the BJP spoke about. The BJP spoke about corruption.
But very briefly, I noticed that you didn't touch upon the most debated aspect of the bill, which is the mandatory inclusion of 2 non-Muslims in the Central Waqf Council, as well as in the state Waqf boards. You had several members of the opposition getting up and saying Muslim members will be allowed onto the boards of of temples or other places of worship. You didn't quote that as your main point of opposition. Why is that?
Because we are a secular country, it's okay. I mean, I myself serve on a mandir board. I myself, number one. Number two, your waqf land, when it's leased out for charity, is not leased out only to Muslims. It's leased out to everybody else. And I do agree with what the Honorable Home Minister said, which I did think was a good speech in Parliament. Some of them were problematic, but a good speech, where he said, look, the charity commissioner can be of any religion. And then there's Hindu charities, Jain charities, Parsi charities, Sikh charities. So can you tell that the charity commissioner has to be only a Hindu or a Sikh? So to that aspect, I think we are a secular country. It doesn't matter if there is 2 Hindus or a Hindu and a Jain or a Hindu and a Sikh. That should not matter in a secular country, and it should not matter on anything else. As long as they're not on the boards, which the Home Minister clarified, because Muslims don't want that in their masjids, which I understand is the point of view. I'm okay with it. That should be there. Why should that be the point of objection? But that is also my point of alignment. The opposition picks up issues that are contentious as well, thus helping the BJP rather than arguing on constitutional issues.
So this is an interesting point. Your disagreement with the bill is not on the emotive issues. Your disagreement is with how it's drafted, how it's structured, how it doesn't actually address the problem of corruption in the Waqf boards. Before I come to Ashwini Shahi and then everybody else, Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP led a fiery response from the BJP, in particular addressing this issue of faith, the very emotive issue of faith. This is the Prime Minister has called the bill watershed. Take a look.
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है हमारे यहाँ, कोई ऐसा नहीं कि हज पे कोई गैर मुस्लिम नहीं जा सकता। हमारे देखिए कुंभ में 50 लाख विदेशी आए थे और किसी से नहीं कहा या कन्वर्ट हो जाओ। इसलिए मैं कहना चाहता हूं हिंदुइज्म की धारणा और बाकी धारणा का जो तुलना करने का प्रयास करते हैं वो बहुत उचित नहीं है। मगर सभापति महोदय, इस वक्त ने कई अद्भुत नजारे दिखाए। इस्लाम में जो काफिर से ज्यादा मुशरिक और शिर्क को बुरा माना गया, नहीं जो भगवान को माने ही नहीं। यहां देखिए वो लेफ्ट के लोग जो कहते धर्म एक अफीम है, वो आज खुदाई खिदमतगार बन के खड़े हो गए। सोचिए कैसा बदलाव आया है। और सर मुझे एक और चीज नजर आती है, एक पुराना गीत था, वक्त ने किया क्या हसी सितम। तो आज मैं कहना चाहूंगा वक्त ने किया क्या हसी सितम कि मुस्लिम लीग और शिवसेना मिलके हो गए हम। और मैं कहना चाहता हूं ये मुस्लिम लीग वो है जिसने सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट की मांग की थी और इस शिवसेना के उबाटा के हमारे इस सदन के एक सदस्य हैं। और सर हमारे साथ मुरली जी बैठे हैं, मुरली देवड़ा जी ने मुझे याद दिलाया, उन्होंने मिलिंद देवड़ा जी ने याद दिलाया, उन्होंने कहा एक जमाने में उन्होंने कहा था मुस्लिमों की नागरिकता छीन लेनी चाहिए। इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूं वक्फ ने किया क्या हसी सितम, ये दोनों मिलके।
Well, you have to give points for rhetoric. Certainly there, we saw some very powerful speeches on both sides, I would say, of this debate, exactly how Parliament should be. Ashwini Shahi, your response, तहसीन पूनावाला कहते हैं भाई पॉइंट पे डिसएग्रीमेंट है। जो बाकी ऑपोजिशन है वो कहते हैं कि इस माहौल में आप मुसलमान सिटीजन्स को अंडरमाइन करने के लिए निकले हैं। यू आर रिमाइंडिंग देम कि आपकी पार्टी के पास पावर है, आपकी पार्टी के पास संख्या है, नंबर्स है, इसलिए आप जो चाहे कर सकते हैं। इस पे आप क्या कहेंगे?
बरखा जी, कम से कम तहसीन भाई ने कुछ तो कहा कि किस पॉइंट पर वो डिसएग्री हैं। बाकी पूरे सदन में, वैसे विपक्षी नेता को तो बोलने का समय नहीं था, वो तो बोले नहीं, लेकिन जिस नेता ने भी बोला, चाहे अखिलेश जी ने बोला या जिस नेता ने बोला, किसी ने वक्त पर नहीं बोला। सिर्फ ये बोला काला दिन है, काला अध्याय है, ये मुस्लिमों के साथ धोखा है, ये मुस्लिम नाइंसाफी है। वक्त की चीजों पर नहीं बोला। दो तीन बातें कहनी है जो प्रमुख रूप से, पहली तो ये बात जो बहस हो रही है और उस बहस को अभी सुधांशु जी का आपने दिखाया, उन्होंने भी कहा, हमारे कई नेताओं ने भी कहा और देश की कई कोर्ट ने कहा कि ये सिर्फ जमीनों के रख रखाव का मामला है, जमीनों के मैनेजमेंट का मामला है, ये कोई धार्मिक संस्था नहीं है। अब इसके बाद दूसरा पॉइंट आता है, कहीं भी किसी अगर मान लीजिए देश में कोई बिल पेश होता है, संविधान के हिसाब से ही होता है सदन में, तो जब ये 1995 में और 2013 में किया गया, जब पेश किया गया तो संशोधन किया गया। 54 में पेश हुआ, उसमें और संशोधन किया गया, 95 में, 2013 में संशोधन किया गया, चाहे मजबूत किया गया चाहे कमजोर किया गया, मैं उस पर नहीं आता हूं। तो वो असंवैधानिक नहीं था और उसी बिल को हम 2025 में पेश करके संशोधन हम भी कर रहे हैं, तो ये असंवैधानिक हो गया। तो मुझे लगता है कि आज में देश के नेताओं को खैर एक बार जो है अपनी शिक्षा दीक्षा पर फिर से पुनर्विचार करना चाहिए कि संवैधानिक क्या है, असंवैधानिक क्या है। सिर्फ दिन भर
जी माहौल की बात अगर आप संक्षेप में करें, आप उत्तर प्रदेश से हैं जहां पे पुलिस ने नमाज, ईद की नमाज के बारे में काफी बड़ा एक तरह से ऑर्डर दिया कि सड़क पे मत आइए, नहीं तो राइट। एंड आपको याद होगा, आप और तहसीन शायद इकट्ठे थे मेरे प्रोग्राम पे, तहसीन सेड शो अ बिगर हार्ट। अब मेरा सवाल नमाज पे वापस जाने का नहीं है, मेरा सवाल ये है कि डजंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट मैटर, डजंट द ओवरऑल एनवायरनमेंट मैटर व्हेन यू ब्रिंग इन अ रिलीजियस रिफॉर्म or a reform pertaining to a minority community? It's not a religious reform, I should correct myself. When you bring in a reform pertaining to a minority community.
देखिए, हम लोग एक रिफॉर्म लेकर इसमें आए हैं। अब दो बातें हैं, मुझे थोड़ा सा सुन लीजिए तो समझ में आएगा। जो सेक्शन 40 हमने हटाया है, सेक्शन 40 इसमें बहुत तगड़ा ये था कि अगर जो है तहसीन भाई ने कह दिया कि ये मेरा मकान है, ये मेरी जमीन है, तो एक चिट्ठी गजट करना होता था और जो है वो उसकी हो जाती थी, वो क्लेम कर सकता था, कब्जा कर सकता था। लेकिन अगर उसके विरोध में हमको जब कहीं जाना होता था तो हमको सेक्शन 85 का सहारा लेना पड़ता था, और वो 85 हमको ट्रिब्यूनल में ले जाता था। ट्रिब्यूनल में जाते थे, ट्रिब्यूनल में जीते हारे वो अलग बात है। अगर मान लीजिए हम हार गए तो हमको फिर साबित करने के लिए ऊपर के कोर्ट में अपील करने का अधिकार था। उन कोर्ट को यह अधिकार नहीं था कि उस ट्रिब्यूनल के फैसले को पलट दें। हमें तो अधिकार था कि हम जाए रिव्यू के लिए वहां। तो आज हमने दो चीजें ये किया है कि 40 को हटाया, तो उससे ट्रिब्यूनल का मामला जो आया कि कम से कम 90 दिन के अंदर अपील करने का मामला है, और उस ट्रिब्यूनल के फैसले को रिव्यू करने का मामला हो गया। ये बहुत क्लियर हो गया कि कहीं कोई नहीं कह सकता है कि भाई ये जो है हम जीते हैं या हारे हैं। तहसीन भाई ने कहा कि कैसे आप करेंगे, और बहुत लोगों में कह रहे हैं कि 5 साल आप, इस पर जो अपोज था जिस पॉइंट पर कि 5 साल कैसे मुस्लिम रहेगा। देखिए तहसीन भाई, पैदा जब धरती पर हर आदमी होता है तो ना हिंदू होता है ना मुसलमान होता है। उसके बाद हमारे रिचुअल्स जो है ना, उसको मुसलमान, हिंदू, ईसाई सब में कन्वर्ट करते हैं। तो ये अपने आप पता चल जाता है कि कौन मुसलमान है कौन हिंदू है। कुछ आपके तरह भी हैं जो सेकुलर हैं, जिनको मैं खुल के कहता हूं जो सेकुलर हैं। भाई आप नाम तहसीन पूनावाला है, हाथ में कलावा है, आप दोनों धर्मों का सम्मान करते हैं, गणेश पूजा की भी बात करते हैं, ईद की भी बात करते हैं। तो ये संख्या बहुत कम है। लेकिन अभी देखिए एक जावेद साहब हैं, वो कोर्ट चले गए, सीए आया, 238 या 228 याचिकाएं लगी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सबको वापस कर दिया। 370 के खिलाफ याचिका लगी, अब 22 या 28 वापस हो गए। उसके बाद यूसीसी जी,
सॉरी, आप अपनी बात एक सेंटेंस में पूरी करिए। मैं 370 को एक रिलीजियस इशू नहीं मानती हूँ, मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाह रही थी कि रेस्ट ऑफ द कंट्रीज मुस्लिम्स हैव नेवर इन माय एस्टिमेशन आइडेंटिफाइड और रिलेटेड
जो कहा
टू द कश्मीर इंसर्जेंसी।
जो आपने कहा 370, वही मैं इसको मानता हूं कि ये जो है धार्मिक मामला नहीं है। अपने देश की कई कोर्ट कह चुकी है ये धार्मिक मामला नहीं है। अब एक लाइन कह के अपनी बात को समाप्त करूंगा। रेलवे की जमीन हिंदुस्तान की है, सेना की जमीन हिंदुस्तान की है, वक्फ की जमीन हिंदुस्तान की है, लेकिन ये लोग नहीं मानते, ये कहते हैं नहीं हमारे पिताजी की है। ये मामला है, जब जरूरत पड़ेगी तो कहें हमारे पिताजी के कैसे है, हिंदुस्तान में रहेंगे, हिंदुस्तान का संविधान नहीं मानेंगे क्यों? जी
अच्छा, अब डिबेट तो यही है कि does it go against the basic values of the constitution or not, as several opposition MPs have argued that it does. Tavleen, let's bring you in as somebody who's often an equal opportunity offender who calls it out on all sides when you see it, as you see it. How did you see the debate? Firstly, it was a relief to see Parliament actually debating, doing their job, sitting till late, and actually having, I thought, a reasonably free, no holds barred debate. At the end of it, this bill is going to become law unless the Supreme Court intervenes. What is your response?
Well, I don't want to comment on what happened in Parliament. It was fine. It's good to see a debate. That's, really neither here nor there. What worries me is whenever government interferes in a religious body. By the way, there's lots of corruption in Waqf. You've only got to go to Mehrauli to see what's going on with the Waqf lands, etc. It is. I know personally what goes on with that. But I'm not convinced that this change will make less corruption or that suddenly the money will be used for charity. But really what I don't like is government interference in any kind of religious thing, and especially at the moment with the Muslims, because sad to say, the Modi government has lost the Vishwas. There's Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, etc. The Muslims have no Vishwas in the Modi government. So had it been a different kind of atmosphere, a different kind of government, maybe they wouldn't be protesting. But since the lynchings, then the love jihad, then the, cutenge to butenge, who's going to do the cutting and who's going to do the butter? There's been a little bit too much picking on the Muslim community. And, I am totally anti the jihadi Islam. And really, I think that if the Prime Minister had the moral authority, he would say, these are the values of India. We will not tolerate any jihadi nonsense. And we will not allow, in the name of religion, for you to start, harassing Christians in Kerala and doing that and the other, and claiming land the way that has been happening. So those are the things that worry me. I really think that when you have the moral authority, you can go ahead with making these changes. When you lose it, it's difficult.
So you believe context is everything. If the context were different, if the relationship between the Muslim community and the Modi government or the BJP were better, this bill would have been debated in a very different way.
I think so. I really think so. But it seems too much all the time. Every time they have these debates, there is, every Muslim in the country is thinking, why are they doing this to us again?
Yeah.
When they made that big drama about compulsory jihad, etc., they didn't really, it wasn't about jihad. It was about this othering of the Muslims, which really I feel very ashamed of as an Indian.
Okay, Ashwini ji, just give me 2 minutes. I want to bring in Kushal and Zakia, and then I'll come back to you because wo bol nahi paya abhi tak. Kushal Mehra, let's bring you in. I think we can't. Nobody lives in a silo. Politics doesn't exist in a silo. And while some people have said argue on merit, Tehseen has said that the opposition is making a mistake by getting drawn into these emotive issues. Tavleen says you can't separate the emotion. If a community feels besieged, it is the job of the patriarch, in this case, it could be a matriarch, in this case, it happens to be a patriarch, the patriarch of the nation, to reach out to all people. You can postpone this, you can push it down the line. What would it change? What is the tearing hurry? What are you doing here except showing that you can? What do you say?
Well, what is the hurry? From 1913 to 2013, there were 18 lakh acres of Waqf land. From 2013 to 2025, 21 lakh acres of Waqf land. So post the 2013 amendments, look at the rate at which Waqf land has been occupied.
I mean,
Secondly,
the figures given are 8.7 lakh acres across 9.4 lakh. Let me pull it out exactly, but like something like that, right? My figures don't match yours.
yeah, well, I'm giving you the figures that I've taken out.
Yeah.
From 1913
Sorry,
to
sorry.
2013.
Yeah, sorry.
These
Tessie?
figures the Home Minister gave. The Home Minister gave these figures in the House. Kushal
Right.
will attest to it. Yeah.
Right. But before that, yeah, now they are owned 18 lakh acres in 100 years, added 21 lakh acres in the last 12. But before that, the figures that were being reported everywhere, I beg your pardon, were 8.72 lakh properties. So I'm just saying there's also a huge difference in the numbers that are being reported. But go ahead.
I'm giving you the figures that I've heard.
Yeah.
People are claiming Bet Dwarka under Waqf land. People are claiming Dhirubhai Ambani's house, the Antilia house is Waqf land. I think if that is the case, I claim the Arabian Sea is Waqf land and I am the Waqf lord. So I mean, it's just ridiculous. There is no such argument in my head that there is no good time to bring in something that solves a problem, no matter what the cost. This is the tragedy of India, that everything is through the group lens. If everything is through the group lens, then I am the head of the atheist community of India. And as the leader of the atheist community of India, I demand every single religious verse to be repealed. Kisi mein dam nahi hone wala. See, this is why I don't believe in group arguments and group sentiments. Where individuals, the constitution looks at things through their individual lens. I don't care whose sentiments get hurt in the process and what. We should look at the merits of the case, merits of the bill. If there is a problem, we should. Why is the prime minister or anybody, is the prime minister supposed to go out of the way to please Hindus? Why? He's supposed to look at what is right, what is wrong, and just go ahead and do it. The problem in the discourse of this country is everything is tu Muslim, tu Hindu, tu falana. Even the Christians in Kerala are opposing this entire land grab under Waqf. So what, Christians are also communal in this country now? You can see today there were visuals of Christians coming out celebrating this whole Waqf thing, because under that Waqf Act, how many fraudulent land grab attempts were made in Kerala? So nobody seems to be bothered about that aspect. See, I just don't buy this red herring of I have to bring people on board. I mean, did Darwin have to bring people on board because he had to convince people about the theory of evolution? Nobody would have believed him. Yeah, facts don't care about these things. The fact is, it's a bad third-rated system. It needs to be corrected. If people get hurt, people get hurt. There are I as a disbeliever believe most people who believe in a deity are wrong. I don't go around telling them stop believing in that. Yeah, just go ahead and live your life. I just don't understand these arguments. I honestly don't. I don't care if the entire country is hurt. If it's the right thing to do, do it.
So is it the right thing to do to bring in two non-Muslims into the Central Council of the Waqf? And when the MIM MP Imtiaz Jalil stands up and says, will I be allowed onto the board of, so-and-so temple
There are
board?
non-Hindus in temple boards across the country. FYI.
Okay. Before I come to Zakia, Tehseen, brief interjection. And yes, I do want to update our official figures. Amit Shah on the floor of the House, thanks for that, Tehseen, updated those numbers that we had and said that the Waqf has owned 18 lakh acres in the last 100 years and added 21 lakh acres in the last 12. That's Amit Shah on the floor of the House. Sorry, I just wanted to update those numbers. Go ahead, Tehseen.
So I'll make a political point to rebut that. I was astounded when Amit Shah ji gave that. I thought it was a self-goal by Amit Shah ji. And if I was Rahul Gandhi, I would have stood up and asked the Home Minister, sir, last 10 years has been your government. Most states have been yours. That means you've encouraged Waqf and you've appointed the Waqf members. That means you've taken this land and now gotten the statute of limitation. The BJP would have scored a self-goal. But again, the opposition. Let me come to the points Kushal made. See, one thing that's been given is the temple in Tamil Nadu was claimed. The parliament is being claimed, all of these claims that have been told in media as well. So I actually went to the JPC where the Revenue Secretary of Tamil Nadu deposed. So I have that deposition where he's very clearly said, listen, that farmer, it was an error because it was a clerical error. And this is not a state Waqf board, it was a central Waqf board clerical error. We immediately sought an opinion. We put it on hold. Not 1 inch of land has been given to Waqf. He's clarified that, that's on record. But the Honorable Minority Affairs Minister gets up and says this. So you see the perception against Waqf. Who are these people who have gone to claim the Taj Mahal in Uttar Pradesh from the Waqf board? Who's appointed them? The BJP. 21 lakh acres. Kushal is right on that point. Who's appointed them? The BJP. So all of this is also being done by the BJP.
Okay. Guys, everybody hold on. Zakia has been waiting to speak and then we'll come back to Ashwini, Kushal, Tavleen, Tehseen, everybody. Zakia Soman, I do have a column of yours for reference from 2024, I think in the Hindustan Times, where you support reform, you agree that there is corruption and mismanagement in the Waqf boards, but you do not support reform in the manner that it's being pushed through. Kushal Mehra says, who cares about people's feelings? If it's the right thing, you do it anyway. As somebody who fought against triple talaq, who fought for reform when it came to the rights of Muslim women in the community, even then you saw the pushback. You saw the pushback from many Muslim male politicians and you still went ahead. When Kushal Mehra says, if it's right, you do it. You just do it. You don't debate, is this the right moment? Is this the right moment? What do you say?
So it cannot be, that pushback cannot be compared to this pushback because it has to be substantive. You know, that pushback at the time of triple talaq was just to uphold the patriarchal status quo. They had no logic, no reasoning. They were not supported by the constitutional provisions, which is not the case here. And I agree that the context is very, very important. And I'm personally not convinced that this newfound kind of concern about Muslim welfare, you know, on the part of the government and on the part of the BJP, because the kind of onslaught that we have been witnessing, it has been consistently building and it has been aggravating. And the latest is bulldozer, quote unquote, bulldozer justice. Even Eid is not allowed, you know, to be celebrated in states like UP. So that's a problem. Also, see, we have to understand that there is a lot of misinformation and propaganda on this issue, like on every other issue, you know, which has now become the norm. Waqf is a religious matter insofar as a person who is a Muslim has a right to donate. As a Muslim, she donates her property to Waqf. That is fine. But the governance of Waqf is happening under the rule of law of this country, the rule of law as defined by the Constitution. And as was said by somebody earlier, the very Constitution gives the right to religious freedom, right to cultural freedom, and it also gives the right to minorities to govern and administer their own institutions.
Let me ask this, Zakia ji. Do you agree with the changes to the bill?
I first of all have my doubts whether this bill has been brought about without, you know, has the situation, ground level situation, been properly analyzed? Have they spoken to people who are at the forefront of managing these properties? There is a lot of corruption, there is a lot of encroachment, there is a lot of illegal possession, but there are exceptions. There are a lot of people who are, driven by the spirit of public service, and they are administering the waqfs very, very well. Have their views, their experiences, their insight been taken on board? I doubt that. And what is being proposed now, is it going to remedy this whole situation? Is this bill, as was said earlier, is this bill going to ensure that waqf now onwards will be used for the poor, the women, the children, the needy, those without
that is what the prime.
I have no confidence on that count. It is also being looked upon as a property issue, and we know what is happening, throughout our country, across different cities, how there is a nexus between politicians and builders, and how our lands, forget the waqf land, other commons such as lakes, ponds, grazing lands, they are being taken over, and builders are, building there overnight. So I'm not sure about the intention, the purpose, and whether this bill is at all going to address the malaise, which is real. I agree that the malaise is real.
Okay. Ashwini Shahiji, please respond. You've heard at least two perspectives from Tavleen, Singh and Zakia Soman, and some also from Tehseen, but not on the same issues. Criticism. And Zakia and Tavleen's is on the point of identity, that you do not call something reform when the large section of the community is alienated with your government. अगर उनको लगता है कि ये तो हमारे साथ खड़े ही नहीं, इस बिल का नाम रखा है उम्मीद बिल, लेकिन अगर आप मुसलमानों से पूछे तो ज्यादातर लोग कहेंगे नहीं, बीजेपी हमें पसंद नहीं करती, तो ये उम्मीद किस बात की, ये एक सवाल उठा है।
मुसलमान कितना पसंद करता है बीजेपी को ये सब लोग जानते हैं। तो मुसलमान जो है 8% हमको वोट देता है, तो हम उसके लिए नहीं कर रहे हैं कि हमको वोट देगा नहीं देगा। ये देश संविधान से चलेगा और संविधान की पालना सबको करनी पड़ेगी। अगर देश का कानून है तो अब कानून सदन को बनाना है, राष्ट्रपति महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी का सिग्नेचर हो जाएगा, उसके बाद शासन प्रशासन का काम है कि कैसे पालना कराया जाएगा। जो करेगा वो ठीक है, नहीं तो न्याय व्यवस्था है, शासन प्रशासन है, अपना देखेगा, कानून बन चुका है। पहली बात मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि हिंदुस्तान में कैसे ये लोग कह देते हैं कि नहीं ये यतीमों के लिए है, बेवाओं के लिए है, एकदम धार्मिक चीज है कि ये दान किया गया है, शुद्ध मन से दान किया गया है, लेकिन जो करता है वो यतीमों के लिए कर रहा है, बेवाओं के लिए कर रहा है, वो अपने जो है क्या कहते हैं अनाथ आश्रम बनाने के लिए कर रहा है, वो मस्जिद बनाने के लिए कर रहा है, वो गुरुद्वारा बनाने, वो सारी क्या नाम है कब्रिस्तान बनाने के लिए कर रहा है। ये एक शुद्ध मन से किया हुआ दान है। लेकिन अचानक इतनी जमीन का बढ़ जाना 2009 से 2024 तक का, ये कहां से इतने दानदाता आ गए? जमीनें तो उतनी थी। देश 47 में धर्म के आधार पर बट गया, जिसकी ट्रेन छूट गई वो यहां रह गए, कुछ लोग मन से रह गए, कुछ लोग ऐसे भी हैं जो वही विरोध कर रहे हैं, जिनकी ट्रेन छूटी थी वो विरोध कर रहे हैं।
नहीं ये तो
और जिनके जो यहाँ मन से रहे थे,
नहीं अश्विनी जी, देयर आर मिलियंस ऑफ पेट्रियोटिक मुस्लिम्स जिनके बारे में ये तो नहीं कह सकता कि कुछ लोग की ट्रेन छूट गई, ये तो नहीं कहा जा सकता।
मैं बता रहा हूँ किसकी छूटी, मैं बता रहा हूँ किसकी छूटी। कल देखिए, कल रात में सुधांशु जी ने बता दिया कि किसकी ट्रेन छूटी और कौन अपने मन से रहा। वीर अब्दुल हमीद का परिवार अपने मन से रहा, उसके लिए क्या किया इन ट्रेन छूटने वालों ने। ब्रिगेडियर उस्मान का परिवार यहाँ पर अपने मन से रहा और देश के लिए लड़ा। तो देखिए वो दोहराने की जरूरत नहीं है। वो
मुझे नहीं लगता that we should ask any citizen to prove their patriotism। ये बात गलत है।
नहीं एकदम, देखिए वो तो करना पड़ेगा, उसका नहीं करना होता तो आज एक बात बताइए, थोड़ा सा सुन लीजिए।
आप ये तो नहीं कह सकते कि जो अश्विनी जी, आप ये तो नहीं कह सकते कि जो इस बिल का विरोध करता है वो पाकिस्तान जाना चाहता है। We cannot say that ना, या वो भारतीय नहीं।
मैंने पाकिस्तान देखिए, लेकिन ये जरूर कहूंगा, मैं पाकिस्तान भेजने और कहीं अफगानिस्तान भेजने की बात नहीं करता हूं। मैं कहता हूं उसके दिल में हिंदू
मत क्वेश्चन करिए,
थोड़ा सा सुन लीजिए, चेक करना पड़ेगा। सुन लीजिए ना बरखा जी, सुन लीजिए, सबको सुन रही है तो मुझे भी सुन ली, थोड़ा सा सुन लीजिए।
जरूर। मैं
ये नहीं कह रहा हूं उनको पाकिस्तान जाना चाहिए, लेकिन ये जरूर मैं कहूंगा कि उनके दिल में हिंदुस्तान नहीं है, वरना वो फिलिस्तीन का झंडा लेकर न जाते। आज जुमा है, जुमा की नमाज पढ़ने जाते हैं, यानी कि देश की भलाई, अपने दोस्तों की भलाई, पूरे यहाँ के रहने वालों की भलाई की दुआ करने जाते हैं, और वहां के बाद निकलकर बवाल करते हैं। उनके देश में हिंदुस्तान नहीं है।
मेरा एक सवाल है, तवलीन मेरा एक बहुत छोटा सा सवाल है। क्या आप ये कह रहे हैं कि जो लोग पूरा ऑपोजिशन पार्लियामेंट का, उनके दिल में हिंदुस्तान नहीं है, क्योंकि उन्होंने विरोध किया ना इस बिल का।
एकदम उनके अंदर तुष्टीकरण है। उनके अंदर अगर हिंदुस्तान के प्रति प्यार होता तो हिंदुस्तान के संसद में वही बिल वो लेकर आए, उसमें हम संशोधन कर रहे हैं, आज उसका वो विरोध कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा,
इसका मतलब
चलिए।
तुष्टीकरण है उनके मन में। अगर तुष्टीकरण नहीं होता तो वो विरोध ना करते, क्योंकि उन्होंने सभी चीजों को। अब आप देखिए, थोड़ा सा 1 मिनट का समय दीजिए, मैं चाहूंगा 1 मिनट का समय मुझे दीजिए। आप बताइए, CAA आया, इतना विरोध हुआ, चूंकि चलिए खैर सोरोस चाचा का पैसा आना बंद हो गया तो अब विरोध उस टाइप से नहीं हो पाएगा, लेकिन जो विरोध हुआ उसमें कितने मुसलमानों का जो है यहाँ पर नागरिकता छीन ली गई। आप ही बताइए। देखिए, आप तो सजग प्रहरी हैं।
मैं आपको एक
आखिर क्यों हुआ?
सर अश्विनी जी, आप नॉर्मली कभी ऐसी बातें नहीं करते, इसलिए मुझे थोड़ी हैरानगी है। मैं आपको फिर मौका दे रही हूँ कि आप अपने वर्ड्स वापस ले लीजिए या मुझे बोल दीजिए मैं गलत समझी हूँ। क्या आप ये कह रहे हैं कि इस बिल का जो भी विरोध करता है उनके दिल में हिंदुस्तान नहीं है, उनके दिल में भारत नहीं है,
इस बिल का मैं कह रहा हूं, इस बिल का जो भी मुसलमान भाई विरोध कर रहा है उनके हृदय में हिंदुस्तान का प्यार नहीं है। दूसरा, जो राजनीतिक दल विरोध कर रहे हैं उनके अंदर तुष्टीकरण कूट कर भरा हुआ है। वो अपने वोट बैंक के लिए विरोध कर रहे हैं। ये बहुत
ठीक है, आपने अपनी कमेंट, मैंने बहुत मौके आपको दिए, मुझे लगा मैं गलत समझी। तवलीन, कुशल एंड देन
नहीं, आप एकदम फिर से आप 10 बार कहलवाएंगी, मैं 10 बार यही बात कहूंगा।
ठीक है, पर मैं आपसे कहूंगी कि डिसएग्रीमेंट्स अगेंस्ट अ लॉ कैन नॉट बिकम अ मेजर ऑफ समवन्स नेशनलिज्म और पेट्रियोटिज्म। मैं तो आपको यही कहूंगी। अब आप कहेंगे कि मैं इससे डिसएग्री कर रही हूं तो मैं भी भारतीय नहीं हूं, तो ये हम किस हद तक इसको लेके जाएंगे? तवलीन, डू गो अहेड, यू वांटेड टू कम इन।
मैंने भारतीय होने न होने पर नहीं सवाल उठाया, क्षमा के साथ एक आपको बीच में टोक रहा हूं। मैंने किसी के भारतीय होने न होने पर, लेकिन मैंने एक लाइन जरूर कहा है, बीर अब्दुल हमीद की औलाद एकदम हम स्वागत करेंगे, अब्दुल कलाम साहब की औलादों का स्वागत करेंगे, लेकिन जो फिलिस्तीन का झंडा लहराएगा और जो हर बात में जो है निकलकर संविधान के विरोध भी करेगा, उसके खिलाफ मैं खड़ा था, हूं और रहूंगा।
ओके, तवलीन।
अश्विनी जी, क्या आप जानते हैं कि जो लोग नहीं गए हैं पाकिस्तान, उनमें से कई इतने गरीब थे कि जा नहीं पाए। तो ये ट्रेन छूटने वाली जो बात है ना, मैं रेफ्यूजी हूं खुद, हमको वहां से आना पड़ा और किसी के पास वो चॉइस नहीं थी। जो आप समझ रहे हैं कि सब आराम से बैठे हुए थे और जिन्होंने फिलिस्तीन का झंडा उठाना था वो चले गए पाकिस्तान। दूसरी बात, आप साबित कर रहे हैं कि जो मुसलमानों का विश्वास टूट गया है मोदी जी में, वो सही विश्वास टूटा है। आप कैसे बोल सकते हैं एक पूरी कौम के बारे में इस तरह की बातें? कैसे बोल सकते हैं? अच्छा, दूसरा, now I'm going to speak in English about other religious bodies. You think the SGPC is not corrupt? Will you please tell me? You think that the guys who are running the Hindu temples, most of them are now, administrators from the government. You think there isn't corruption? Yeah. And the other thing that, I'm very interested in what Tavleen said, that this land in the past 12 years has increased. Why did the BJP not stop it earlier? The thing is that it's very hard to convince me, to tell you the truth, that this law is being changed with good intentions. There's something wrong in the way that it's being presented.
Yeah.
How is it that the BJP did not? That seems absolutely right. How is it that in 12 years, okay, the thing, so most of it has increased in 12 years, 10 of which there was BJP governments across the country. So why didn't they stop it?
Okay,
right? There are flaws in every religious administration. Are you going to let the government take it over and our bureaucrats?
9 से 14 तक हम लोग नहीं थे तौलीन जी, 9 से 14 नहीं थे हम लोग। आरोप लगाना गलत।
नहीं, ये अभी कह रहे हैं कुशल कि पिछले 12 सालों में ये जमीन का जो बढ़ावा हुआ है, ये पिछले 12 सालों में
9 का आंकड़ा था और 24 का आंकड़ा है। अब कितने साल होते हैं जोड़ लीजिएगा।
मुझे नहीं मालूम, मैं तो तहसीन की बात को बढ़ा रही हूँ। लेकिन
आप जब मैं यहाँ पे इंडिया, एक मिनट, ये
बिल्कुल गलत है, ये हमारे देश की तहजीब नहीं है।
Okay, I want to just read out. I think we have argued with Ashwini Shahi enough on this point, but it does speak to Ashwini ji with great respect. It does speak to an Indian Muslim feeling कि आज मैं कुछ भी बोलूं विरोध में, एक पॉलिसी के खिलाफ तो मेरी इंडियननेस को क्वेश्चन किया जाता है। वो मैंने आपको बार बार, तभी मुझे उम्मीद थी कि आप अपने वर्ड वापस ले लेंगे, लेकिन जहां तक ये नंबर्स का सवाल है, मैं इंडिया टुडे की वेबसाइट से पढ़ रही हूँ, Waqf board owned 18 lakh acres in 100 years, added 21 lakh acres in the last 12. It was in 2013 that the Waqf Act of 1995 was amended, Amit Shah pointed out during the debate, right? So 21 lakh acres have been added in the last 12 years. Now, which year to which year, I don't know. We have to go deeper into the data. Tehseen, you want to clarify that before Kushal comes? Yeah, I know. Everybody one by one. Tehseen, Kushal, Zakia.
Yeah.
Tehseen.
No, the Honorable Home Minister is very clear, 2013 to now. In fact, the Honorable Home Minister said this while saying that had the 2013 amendments not happened, he would not have to bring in these amendments right now. And therefore, the period of the 21 lakh that he was referring to was the year 2013, which leads me to my point that 2014 to 24 is BJP and most states were BJP.
Right. Now, do you want to come in on everything else?
मैं क्लियर कर दूं, एक सेकंड क्लियर करता हुआ चलूं, अकेला हूं, जवाब देना है एक एक लाइन का। तहसीन भाई
नहीं है, आप बिल्कुल अकेले नहीं है। कुशल
यहाँ तो
सर एक मिनट, कुशल आपकी साइड है, जो आधी आपकी साइड है। It's 2.5
1995 में सेक्शन 3 था तहसीन भाई। 2013 में ये धारा आ गया 40। ये जो लैंड बढ़ी है, इन धारा 40 और धारा 3 की वजह से बढ़ी। धारा 3 को हटा के धारा 40 कर दिया गया था। अब वो 40 की वजह से ये जमीन बढ़ी है कि जिस पर उंगली रख दो वो हमारी है, चाहे सूरत की म्युनिसिपल कारपोरेशन हो या पलवल में जो है किशनगढ़ की जमीन प्लाट करके बेच दी गई हो, या जो ओवैसी साहब ने अपना फार्म हाउस बनाया, ये सारी जमीन उसके बाद।
तहसीन, complete your point, then Kushal and then Zakia, please. Tehseen, yeah.
No, but again, this is the same vague points. Anyone can make any claim. Look, even Kushal said that, listen, these claims are made, and I agree. They even claimed Dwarka, Abhishek Krishnaji's Nagari. The point is they haven't got anything. And then this continuous misrepresentation that you can't go to a court against an appeal. The only difference is instead of civil court, a tribunal, which is quasi-judicial body rules, and then you can, of course, go to a high court. And in most cases, high courts have ruled against the tribunals. Now, again, I'm asking, when the Waqf claims something, it's not an individual like Kushal or Tehseen going and claiming it. The Waqf is a board. These claims are made by boards that are state government appointed. Mostly, these Waqf boards, the money that comes in and their lawyers are paid for by the state government. Of course, the Waqf has a profit or the money to run itself, but these are state government lawyers. All of this is also done by the BJP. And now I'm again saying with this act of limitation, the BJP is legitimizing the corruption and taking the land. These are the points. What is the 12 years? Amit Shah ji today is bringing in a law for something in 95. No, he's bringing it for 2013. He's made very clear in Parliament. Section 40 was strengthened in 2013.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring in Kushal. I've understood now. I think we have a lot more clarity. Kushal, you said, if it's correct, why not do it? But I think there are some points to Tavleen's very precise question. What about the SGPC? Would anyone touch it? What about other very powerful boards that control temples? I know you are laughing.
My opinion on the SGPC, I don't want to share.
No, what
you want to hear
again?
You want to hear my opinion on the SGPC?
The point is nobody is tinkering with its management. That's the point.
No, so Barkha, that's the point. Two wrongs don't make a right. This is a bad argument. This is a fraudulent argument. Tomorrow, if the BJP says gravity is real, ये क्यों gravity में मान रहे हैं? इनकी मंशा ठीक नहीं है. जरा मैं बिल्डिंग के टेरेस से कूदी मार के देख लूं, बीजेपी ने बोला है gravity है. यार ये क्या argument है?
It's about selective application. It's about selective application of a principle.
The principle matters. The principle is right. It doesn't matter.
Does it matter if you selectively apply it?
No. It's one step at a time. Did it matter when Nehru only got the Hindu Code Bill and did not get the Uniform Civil Code? Did it matter then?
Tehseen has a brief interjection. You can complete your point after that. Zakia has been waiting. Ek minute, Zakia ji, both. Kushal, hold on. Kushal, hold on. I'm not taking your mic away, but both Tehseen and Zakia want to respond to you. Tehseen first, then Zakia Soman. Yes. briefly, please, because Kushal was still making his point. So these are interjections.
I tend to agree with Kushal on most things, but the gravity example is terrible, because if the BJP will only say gravity exists at the BJP building and not at the Congress building, that would be wrong. Gravity is consistent. Therefore, we want that laws that you bring in consistently. You only don't want to go after one community. Be consistent. If you want a uniform civil code, bring uniform reforms in everything.
That's right.
There you won't bring in uniform reforms. The SGPC punished a political party in Punjab. The basis of a political party is secularism.
No, I agree. I agree. I think the fact that the Akalis had to go and do penance in front of the SGPC is absolutely crazy, and nobody has stopped the SGPC from doing this. Yes.
Can I complete my point?
Can I take Zakia's 30 seconds? She's spoken the least so far in the show, and then let you complete your point. Zakia.
So Nehru and Ambedkar very much wanted to bring the uniform civil code, but it was opposed by those who were the forefathers of today's BJP. That is how the whole idea was dropped. And the Hindu law reform happened, and Muslim women were denied the benefits of that reform. So that for that also now the BJP will take credit, and now again bring the uniform civil code in a manner which is more to teach a lesson to the Muslims rather than to uphold gender justice and gender equality. That is the problem with this kind of rhetoric and these kind of narratives. I was on that limited point, Barkha.
Okay, Kushal, and then we have to start closing.
I have to correct a lot also.
Yes. Okay, boliye, Kushal ji.
The BJP is full of bollocks. I don't speak for the BJP. I don't care about the BJP. BJP people can get hurt all the time. But to see this, this deification of Mr. Nehru in this country is kind of amusing to me personally. As if Nehru is a demigod or something. India is the only country where politicians are deified. I don't understand that. I will never deify a politician. I don't believe in deities. That's a separate issue. But to this point, India is a country that works on gradualism. Now, I'll tell you, when I used to debate people in India about why the Hindu Code Bill came, the argument I used to get was, India works on gradualism, Kushal. Different communities live in different ages in India. Some people live in the Stone Ages, some people in the medieval ages, some people in modernity. We apply different laws to different people. This is the kind of rubbish I used to listen to. Now, here is an attempt to bring all the communities slowly but surely in a sort of a parity. And I agree, the SGPC sucks too. Bring them in too. Hindu temples might have problems too. Bring them in too. But will this country agree to it? One step at a time is my point. If gradualism applies to law X, gradualism applies to Y too. You cannot have selective political gradualism. In fact, my is a principal argument that if gradualism is the political essence of India, then let's have gradualism everywhere.
Okay, we need to start taking closing comments. I'll start with you, Ashwini ji. Ashwini ji had his hand up, and then go around the panel. Ashwini ji. जी.
बरखा जी, दो बातें कहनी है. जाकिया जी, सम्मान के साथ मैं कहना चाहता हूं, नेहरू जी का कोई एक बयान दिखा दीजिए हमको कहीं भी तथ्यों के साथ कि उन्होंने यूसीसी को कहा था कि लागू कर दिया जाए. मैं बहुत सम्मान के साथ कहता हूं. दूसरी बात ये कहता हूं, मंदिरों से तुलना होती है. मंदिरों से तुलना होती है. हिंदुस्तान के कितने मंदिर सरकार के अधीन हैं, सरकार उनसे टैक्स लेती है. अब बता दीजिए कि ये वक्फ बोर्ड कितना सरकार को देता है और कितना सरकार से लेता है. दोनों का अंतर अपने आप पता चल जाएगा. जो लोग भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं मंदिरों के साथ इसको जोड़ने का, वो मिथ्या प्रचार कर रहे हैं, वो भ्रमित कर रहे हैं, हमारे मुसलमान भाइयों के बीच में अफवाह फैला रहे हैं.
जी. Zakia Soman, you're concluding quick thoughts.
So there is a problem in the Waqf system. It is to a large extent, it is defunct. It is full of corruption. Reform is necessary, but it is the responsibility of the government to consult with the community for whose welfare this bill is being brought. Building a consensus is also the responsibility of the government. Also, the bill should not be violative of the constitutional principles of religious freedoms and cultural freedoms and freedoms to manage your own community institutions. That is my problem with this bill.
Okay, Kushal Mehra, last thoughts?
What is right is right. It doesn't matter who does it, how it happens. Stick to principles. If you stick to principles, you'll never have a problem. The problem in this country is political tribalism. Tomorrow, the Congress says something which is good for the country. All these BJP supporters will oppose it for the heck of opposing it. Today, the BJP does something which is beneficial to the country. All the people who are opposed to them are going to oppose it for the heck of opposing it. Political tribalism is killing India. We need to get over that and fight for fierce individualism, which I fight for.
Tavleen Singh, last thoughts?
I would like the government and every bureaucrat that I know to stay out of religious affairs. Let the different religious bodies, let them get elected. But the SGPC is elected and it allowed Pindrawale to occupy the Golden Temple. Okay. So, the point is that I have not seen a Hindu temple run by the government actually being any better than when it was run by the Mahants. That's my point. I really don't like interference.
Tavleen, the Congress is going to fight this in the Supreme Court. Do you agree with that, given that you support the Congress? Closing thoughts.
I don't agree that a political battle should be fought in the court. Let activists challenge it. If I was the Congress, I make a political point and I have another point to make. Then I would have had Rahul Gandhi ji speak. Simply because in the 2024 Muslims voted en masse for Congress. Good or bad, Rahul Gandhi ji should have spoken in this bill by tweeting about it. As my mom said, the Muslims are not on Twitter. So those who are on Twitter are against Waqf. And the Muslims who wanted him to speak didn't speak. That's a political thing. I think the Congress should have seen better. But I have one point. I agree with Kushal on individualism, but there's a larger point that I would like to make here on the Waqf bill. The government is surprising. Bills in a bill for farmers. Farmers don't understand it. They bring in a bill for women's reservation. The women don't understand it. So far, they haven't got it because the limitation hasn't happened. They brought in a bill for Muslims. Muslims haven't understood it. And they said this is a constitutional bill. People like me who study the constitution haven't understood it. How come this government brings in a bill and people for whom it's meant don't understand it? The only people celebrating it are supporters of BJP. Instant triple talaq, just thing to do. Good you abolished it. The only people celebrating were BJP supporters. Why? So how come the BJP brings in bills that the audience does not understand it for whom it's brought in? I think the BJP should also reflect upon it.
All right, we leave the program with that question looming large. Otherwise, this debate can carry on endlessly. Thank you so much, everybody. Ashwini Shahi, Tavleen Poonawalla, Kushal Mehra, Zakir Suman, and Tavleen Singh. Always a pleasure. And to our audience, thank you. See you tomorrow. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.